Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. Well, I get a lot of news from you guys out there that you love to take care of your Harley-Davidson. Yes, you wash and you polish, you maintain your motorcycle, you change the oils, you grease this and that, and you try to take care of your motorcycle as best you can. But there's a person or thing out there that's really fighting you, and that's the road. Yeah, while you're riding and having a lot of fun, there's a lot of dirt. There's bugs, there's tar, there's everything coming at your motorcycle. And what really gets the brunt of it is your front fork. And if you have your bike for some time, this is what eventually happens. Ugh, ugly. But there's hope. With a lot of elbow grease and determination, we can go from this to over here and to this. Yes, it is possible. These started out as the same forks from the same front end, and we ended up with the polish. But how do we get there? Well, I asked for Paul, our pro detail specialist here, to kind of help walk us through this process. All right, what's the first step we do when we get our front forks off our bike?
Clean it.
Clean it. All right. Wash it really good. Get that tar, get the bugs, get those small stones, get everything you can off of it, because we got to start with a bone clean surface. All right. And then we talked about we need to get this chrome piece off. It just pops off. There's a notch in the front forks right there where you can pop off this, because this is where a lot of the corrosion really builds up between the chrome and the aluminum. So we pop off this chrome, get it off. Now we've got a clean item here. What's the next step?
Well, during the cleaning process, you can also use these. It's also the first stage of the sanding process, but this will kind of work in between as your prep work as you go when you're cleaning it.
So green pads, and I've seen these at Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware stores, or something like that. All right, so this starts the process after we clean to start sanding. What we're trying to do is get all these bumps and terrible pieces off our motorcycle. So we started with the green. Once we get that all done, now we start going to wet sanding. And the smaller the number, the more grittier it is, okay? So we're going to start with 800 wet sanding. That's water and the wet sandpaper. And there is a direction we should sand. Tell us about it.
Well, if you notice on these forks, you can see it a little more easily. There's still a grain to it. You'll see it on the stock ones that haven't been touched yet. They all have the same grain. And you'll remove the most dirt if you work with it. And you'll remove the most material if you go perpendicular across it.
All right, so I want to keep as much of my motorcycle, so I'm going to go with the grain and work with the sandpaper, 800. And how do I know when it's time to go to the next step?
You'll notice that you're not making any more progress removing material, and you pretty much got everything that paper appears to be removing.
All right, so we go from 800 to 1,000 to 2,000. Then if they really want to go for that mirror finish, then we go to 3,000. Now that's a little bit of spending money for the 3,000, but you get it in a round form, and this is where we go to the next step. What really helps in polishing is what?
Cleaning.
All right, but you can purchase...
Oh, high RPMs, yeah.
Okay,
with these pads.
So we want a drill, electric or air, to spin at a high RPM. And what is this attachment from?
Oh, that's from Harbor Freight, hardware store, Walmart, anywhere. They're about $12, $15.
And it comes in a kit?
Yep, comes with the 2 pads usually, and a couple of packs of rubbing compound, and usually they'll come with one of these pads, which you can use after you're sanding, before you work into polishing. It'll help clean up everything you've already done, make the last stage a little bit easier. And
you might have seen these kits. These kits are for restoring your headlights. When they get really dull, you can find it with this. All right, now we're getting down to the really nitty-gritty. Well, I really did use that, didn't I? All right, well, we're getting down to the final stages. You're going to buff with your drill and with the pad. What compound do you use?
Harley Chrome Polish.
Harley-Davidson Chrome Polish for aluminum. That's amazing. And it buffs and it seals and cleans. All there.
It's a carnauba wax-based product. If you open it up and give it a whiff, you'll notice that it smells similar to surf wax, which is also carnauba-based, environmentally friendly, if you're concerned with that, and it works.
Wow, it does work. Can you imagine, you started out with this, and in less than a day, or most of your day, I mean, if you're just kind of sitting around in the garage and listening to some good tunes, you can end up with one of these all polished up and all ready to go back on your motorcycle. And it looks like you had a little extra time, so you took a fork tree and started up on that and started polishing that.
Now these Beartex pads are really good for getting in these areas where a lot of the grime will build up. When you're cleaning it, you just work your fingers in there with it with a little bit of degreaser and this stuff will come right off. It's not hard.
Fantastic. So you have an option to keep your motorcycle looking good and almost like it came right off of the showroom floor. You can polish. It just takes a little elbow grease, and I know you've got that. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.